What's up? Welcome to the Be the CEO podcast. So, Tom and I have decided what we're going to do is take a little bit of a direction, and we scroll through social media like all of you, and we follow a lot of the people that are in similar industries as us. So, every week we're always like sharing content back and forth to each other, like, "Wow, this is really great," or "Man, these people are full of shit. How are they so successful?" Or whatever it may be. It's like we're always looking at this content. So, instead of us just keeping it to ourselves, what we're going to do is we're going to actually share a piece of content that I like and a piece of content that Tom likes. And then we're going to talk to it, whether we believe in what they say or we don't believe in what they say, or it's one of our values or something that inspired us to even start our own businesses. And the whole point of this really is like when you're self-employed and trying to become the CEO, both at work and at home, you really have to, you need some kind of connection that it's possible. And what we're going to do through watching some of the people that are out there on social media that you'll know all of their names, plus our live, real experiences, thoughts, beliefs, dogma about these things, or our stance that we are against it, should hopefully allow you to connect to it at a local level, at a personal level, where you can DM us and speak to us today. So that's kind of the purpose of it, right, Tom?
Yeah, that's exactly it. We just want to share where we believe or don't believe or disagree and have different perspective and really bring in what we do, like so you can get a more real experience of what we're all about. And I think that's really what we're trying to communicate here is giving perspective. There's no better way to get what people are about by expect their perspective and how you change things based on or how you experience things based on things that you see. I mean, we all have opinions and we all have perspective that sometimes needs shifting. And we're not saying we're gonna agree or we're gonna love every post or we're gonna do everything. We just it's an opportunity to really just get a fresh look at what we're doing. And I know you don't like fresh look, Adam.
No, no, but I like what you're saying, that it's this is a it like it's an opportunity for people to get a different perspective. And I mean, quite honestly, that's what social media is about, right? It's finding new perspectives on things, but like where does that go? What do you do with it? Maybe you comment on
Correct.
them. And so we're gonna just elaborate on it because most of social media is kind of goldfish brain. It's like 30 seconds of stuff, and then you scroll through and you forgot it by the time you get to the next post. So these are things that resonated with us, and because it's attached to something either we stand for or stand against, or what made us who we are. And without further ado, let's get to one of them. All right, let's stop talking about it. Let's do the thing. All right, I'm going to share this one on the screen. All right, so if you guys don't know, this is Dan Martell. Okay, so Dan Martell is really an inspiration. He wrote an amazing book called "Buy Back Your Time." So a little hot plug for Dan. He's a great entrepreneur. He really had a struggled life growing up. He got through, all the nonsense of being a kid, a teenager, and in your 20s, and he became super successful. And in that, he really does try to give back to founders to show them paths forward on how to be successful and what he did. So I'm just going to read his post. Hopefully, if you're listening, you can hear it. But if you're watching, here it is, right here on the screen. So what he says is, your first 100,000 is from skills. Your first million is from hiring. Your first 10 million is from systems. Your first 100 million is from building leaders, and your first billion is from brand. That's the money ladder most don't understand. Each level operates different laws. Okay, but most fail because they use level 1 thinking for level 3 problems. So here's the thing, right? This is a great systematic approach to it. So your first 100,000 is from skills, right? And that's where most self-employed people landed, right? It's like they were working at a job, they gained some skills, and they're like, "Holy shit, I think I could probably do this on my own," right, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely.
I could do this on my own. And they went out there and they started a business. And that business could have just been, selling a service, or like going out and getting one client. And usually you can deploy those skills that you had to make your first $100,000. And that is no shame in making $100,000. You know how hard it is when you're self-employed to make $100,000? Like, that's a really difficult task, right?
Yep, it's generating money from nowhere. It's like magic.
That really is it. It's like out of thin air. It's just like I made $100,000, and it's almost purely on grit and your skill set. And that is a very important thing, but it usually only takes that far. Maybe you can make 200 or $300,000, right? And as a self-employed person, that is a milestone. It's making that 100,000 and getting to that place is a big, big, big deal. But what he's saying is if you want to make your first million, which that's what many entrepreneurs do. I mean, we have our club First M, right? It's helping people make their first million. When someone wants to make their first million and they try to do it on their own, this is a stance that Tom and I, we are just so against this whole solopreneur. I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to, a company of one. There's a lot of people doing this, and there's actually one guy out there right now that his mission is to build $1 billion company with one employee. And yeah, he's I
There's
think he's
no
one of the
way.
companies under Alex Hormozy's brand, and Alex laughs at him, but he's like, he sends him emails. So this guy sends Alex Hormozy emails once a week saying, "Hey man, you want to see all the meetings on my calendar? There are none." Ha 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 ha. And he's like laughing, but the guy's doing like 2 million a month or something already. And maybe I'm wrong with the numbers. Don't quote. He's doing a lot of money a month. Like for one guy, it's pretty incredible. Those are called unicorns, folks, right? Like these things don't happen
Yes.
every day. And what happens is with these solopreneurs that are like, "Hey man, I'm going to do it all on my own and I'm going to make a million." That doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for Tom. It doesn't work for Atomic Business Coaching. It certainly works for if there was a company called Atomic Self-Employment, but you're not going to really make the million. It's going to be highly unlikely that you do all on your own. So if your aspiration is to be a solopreneur, be self-employed and make as much money as you can, go after it. That's cool. But if you really want to build a business, if you want to be the CEO of both your business and your life, because that's truly what we do, we help people to take control of their business and their life. If you're going to do that, you need help. And this is what Dan is saying. Dan Martell is saying your first million is from hiring. If you want to make that first million, you have to hire people. You're going to need to get support. It doesn't, I've never seen anybody get to that level all on their own before. And if you're at home, you're going to need support too. You're going to need help hiring things like, I mean, if you're still cutting your grass every single Saturday and you're making $1 million, congratulations. But I haven't met you yet, right? It's like usually have a landscaper. That's a very simple place where you can hire support. Maybe you have a maid that cleans things up. Maybe you have hired a babysitter so you could spend some time with your spouse. Like we're willing to get support at home so quickly. Okay. But we have to be willing to get support at work. Now, here's the thing. We don't need to automatically just like hire the whole rock star staff. Like support can come in many different ways. I mean, it can come in someone who's just giving you 5, 6 hours a week. That's a start. And the whole purpose of what I'm trying to say here is that if your end goal is to make that million, you have to run a business. You can't be self-employed, right? And if you're going to run a business, you're going to need support. And if you're not going to automatically make the million by hiring somebody, you're going to hire and get some support and get some help, which is going to allow you to grow. And as you grow, you're going to need more help. So this is a gradual progression of hiring, whether that be VAs, whether that's empowering systems and software, whether that's hiring a vendor to take some things off your plate. Tom and I have done this time and time again. We hire people to take things off our plate. But that's really what you have to do. And I'm just gonna go one more. On the last thing, he says, if you want to hit 10 million, it's all about systems. Yeah, but you can't have systems unless you have people to run them. So it's like this is just something that I have become so against because it's become in the zeitgeist of like this solopreneur thing. Even the word, I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
like you're self-employed. You're not a solopreneur. You're self-employed and you can make a shit ton of money doing that. And congratulations if you do. But if you're trying to hit that million, you're gonna need help.
Yeah, I mean, he literally prescribes in that post the entire mindset shift that's needed, right? You have to go from one to many. You have to go from because we know, like, we have a whole formulaic approach that we follow. We know that an average employee is going to earn you $200,000 more in revenue. Well, if you're going to make $1 million, you need 5 employees. The math is simple. So looking, I can't do his math that fast, but the $1 billion mark. What does he say is for $1 billion? What was the line in the post? $1 billion is
Oh,
he
well, it's to make $1 billion, you have to have a brand. You have to build a brand. That's
You
what
have
he
to
said.
build a brand, right, and that takes a lot of people to help you build that brand.
Mhm.
But a lot of people who are self-employed and solopreneurs and catch on to that phrase or attach themselves to that phrase often have something to prove, right? You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You can do anything, but you don't have to do everything, and that's the thing that we're saying here is that you have to let go of those preconceived notions that just because you left a job to give yourself a job, that you have to do it all on your own, and you don't have to do that. You have to get out of that. We see it a lot, that proving mindset. Like, I got to prove this. I got to prove this. You don't have to prove it to anybody except yourself that you can do these things, and that's why you can make $100,000 just on your skill, is because you know what to do. But when you get to that point, when you get beyond that point of $100,000, that's when you've hit the point of, oh shit, I'm an accidental CEO, and now I have no idea what I'm doing. And that's what I love about this post. It's really walking through the mindset shift and how you have to see your role, even as the self-employed person, evolve over the course of time and money.
Nice, brother. All right. Let's see what post you came up with today.
All right, so this one's from Alex Hormozy. You're not moving as fast as you want, not because you're slow. You're not moving as fast you want because you're not moving at all. You have decisions to make and you're not making them.
Hmm.
You're stuck. You're stuck. And what gets us stuck? A lot of times, as self-employed people, we get stuck because we don't use that thing that Adam and I believe so much in, and that's your intuition. In using your intuition, and there's a time for using your intuition. A lot of times we try to make decisions with just facts and data, and we get caught up in all of the different evidence and all the different things that happen, and we don't listen to the thing that our intuition is telling us. We don't let our gut make the decision because we're trying to use logic. And we talk about different sabotaging behaviors that come into play, and one of those is that hyper rational saboteur. It doesn't allow us to make illogical decisions, and our intuition is that illogical decision. It's the thing that our gut is telling us, and our gut, when the ego is trying to figure out all the rational reasons for why we should do something, the gut is really saying we just need to go and do it, and because we feel it. It's really simple. If you use your intuition and you really hone in on and you get rid of all the other noise, you will make better decisions. And that's one of the things that Adam and I really try to help people with when we're coaching. We try to give you the opportunity to use your intuition because you have the answers within you. They're just being suppressed by something or someone. And decisions are just choices that we're making. And a lot of people don't recognize that they have the choice to make it, or they fear it because they're doubting making that decision because they want to eliminate as much doubt. They want to get away with as much of the risk as possible because they're just so afraid to do something wrong. And as self-employed individuals, you don't have people to bounce ideas off of. You don't necessarily, and if you're anything like me, you were doing it in a vacuum when you started, right? You were just listening to yourself, and it became harder to make decisions, and you started to reach out for help to get answers to those decisions, to help figure out and make the choices that you needed to make in choosing the right way for you to head. But usually 9 times out of 10, that right way, if you checked in with your gut, is where you're going to experience the most exact and precise answer that that decision requires. And it doesn't have to be logical. It's something that has to be felt and you have to know is the right direction for you.
Nice, pal. So you're not moving as fast as you want, not because you're slow, right? He's saying it's not you're not slow. You're not moving as fast because you're not moving at all. And that's really the thing here. You're not moving at all, right? You have these decisions to make, but you're not making them, right? That's really the key to this whole thing. And I think one of the things that Tom and I truly believe is making decisions is truly about this certainty, right? You have to have certainty. That's it's much easier to make a decision if you have certainty. And what I mean by certainty, what Tom and I mean by certainty, what atomic business coaching means by certainty is not that you're certain about the results, right? It's that you're certain about why you are making the decision. And when you start to know, when you have all of your whys behind you, it's very simple to say yes or no. Like it's black and white at that point because you know why you would say yes or no. And that's truly what we do with each and every one of our clients is we move them beyond the confidence of just having the ability to be like, I'm going to make the decision and I hope it works to where I'm certain I'm making this decision because it fits with who I am, with who I want to be, with what I'm trying to accomplish, with my values. And like, okay, I'm going to make it. I don't know what the results are going to be, but I can make the decision. And that is a very, very big difference, especially if you're self employed. It's like you have to, all these decisions fall on your shoulders. And eventually, one day, when you become a CEO and you have people that rely on you, you're going to have to make decisions from certainty. You're going to have to come to your meetings with like, I know exactly why I'm making this decision because look at our mission statement, look at our vision statement, look at what we're working towards each and every day. I don't know if this decision I'm going to make is going to work out, but I know why we're doing it. And that's how you can get yourself unstuck. It's starting to understand your whys, right? Simon Sinek has a great thing about the golden circles, and it's about the why you do things, right? And that's the thing is you have to, if you truly take a step back and be like, why am I doing this? Because sometimes you forget why you're doing things, or you have to reassess why you're doing things. And I mean, that's simply why Tom and I have come up with our program, the intentional focus system. It's so you can know why you're focused on certain things. And most people who get stuck, it's just that. It just stems from like, I'm uncertain of why I'm doing anything, not how to do it. How to do it, they know. It's why am I doing it?
And it's also realizing, you said it's about your values, and knowing what your values are. And we focus so much on people's values, especially in the intentional focus system. And we had such a great experience the other day with one of our clients with her values. We're going through and we're realizing that her experiences had made her a complete cynic, and every value was rotating around mistrust, right? Because she had become so jaded and so unsure of people that now she was becoming unsure of herself. And that was stopping her from making so many decisions because she doesn't want to stand out and be embarrassed, or she doesn't want to say something and somebody criticize, and she doesn't want some to put something out there and somebody steal her idea. And it was totally dictating her behavior and how she was limiting herself, and she was building a wall that was becoming thicker and thicker, and that you're really going to need a powerful bulldozer to go through. And after that values exercise and understanding where her values are right now, she was able to align herself with the type of people she wants to work with, the type of clients she wants to have. And now she can make all the decisions based on her values. She can go according to her values and say, do these people have that value that I have? Do I align with this individual? Because if we align, we can make the decisions. One of the hardest things and one of the key things that makes us so indecisive is we're not looking to put the puzzle together and put the alignment in place to say this is the right decision for us. And that's how you have to think sometimes when you're making a decision, is go out there and say, okay, how does this align with everything that I'm trying to do? Does it make sense for me? And is this the next step that's going to get me closer to that thing I'm ultimately trying to accomplish? And if all the answers to that are yes, then just do the thing then. You don't need to hesitate. You don't need to second guess. You don't need to sleep on it. That's another thing. We're so against people waiting. Stop waiting. Just make the decision and go do the thing, because waiting is keeping you stuck. Waiting is not allowing you to explore the option. And that is making you more indecisive. All right, went on a little, I got a little hyper there. A little ranty.
Couple tangents. It's all right. It all connects.
It's
All
all
right.
connected.
So, all right. This was fun. I mean, Hormozy, right? And now maybe Dan Martell. If you didn't know them, check them out. Follow them. They're awesome guys. They do great stuff. Sometimes they validate a lot of things we believe in, and sometimes we're like, So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through, find a post each week that we each like, and talk to it, or talk against it, or tell you why that really made an impact on us. And if you're ready to really move from being self-employed to being the CEO, both at work and at home, go to be the.ceo. Yes, it's a new way you can find us. Be the.ceo, because you want to be the CEO, right? It's very simple. If you want to be the CEO, go to be the.ceo. See ya.